I want y'all to come take a little journey with me. Come join me in the circumference of the tent. Sometimes I say to myself, like, why me, Lord? Like, sometimes that's what I say to myself. And a person on the outside looking in, they might assume that things are better than they appear. But a lot of times when we do that and we come to the realization that things are not always better than what they appear, and I have to come to the conclusion that sometimes in life a picture is way better than reality. And when you understand that a picture might be way more than reality, you can understand about your own life and how things to other people would have seemed to be okay and they are not. All of this ties into the topic today, which is reinventing yourself. For those of us who have never been, for those of y'all who have never been through anything, you've been saved, sanctified, you've been on your deen your whole life. And I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to people like me who have struggled in their life continuously and continuously struggle in their life to try to be the best person they be. Failures, conquering, successes and all. Right? So I say that to say that, like, when I was small, getting a little deep, I used to get chased home from school. And I used to get chased home from school from 11th and Brown, the projects, because I went to Wanamaker. And, then when I got home, 17th and Jefferson used to come over and whatever. And then one day, my dad got tired of it. And he said, okay, where did you run from? I said, I ran from 11th and Brown. And he put me in his car and he drove me to 11th and Brown and he dropped me off and he said, now walk home. And at the time, or that anybody that was around might looked at that or perceived that to be someone not caring or disrespectful or not a good parent, when in actuality, that was the first lesson I ever got from my father that regurgitated itself through my existence. Meaning you can't run from nothing. You keep running from it. Eventually it's gonna catch up to you anyway. So you might as well just go to it head on. And that's what I did. And then Radio Raheem came around, and my mom outside, she crying and she's saying, I don't want him to fight. My dad go out there. And I remember beating Radio Raheem up and then the whole neighborhood leaving me alone after that. But it was my father's first reaction to his son reinventing himself. You are known as the kid who ran. You are known as the kid who didn't necessarily take on the challenges enough, but I am going to give you or install in you the power to reinvent yourself. Now you are the kid who won't run no more. Now you are the kid who won't back down no more. Now you are that kid. And I'm not saying these things to encourage fighting or violence or nothing. What I'm basically using these things for as a topic is to allow you to understand that sometimes in your life you are going to have to kill your old self in order for your new self to reappear. And I say reappear because it always was in you. You just didn't know it. But sometimes you have to actually physically kill your old self in order for your new self to manifest itself. I question, why me, God? Like, why do you choose me to be your poster boy? Like, I get in trouble, the whole world know. Something happened to me, the whole world know. I break up with somebody, it's all over the internet, everything. It's like, why me? Then a very soft voice said, you chose this life, stupid. This is something you chose with your own hands. You chose for everybody to be in your business. You chose for all of the stuff to happen to you. You chose all of this. So I came to the conclusion that my old self needed to die in order for my new self to resurrect itself, because it was always there, and to manifest itself, to like walk into like what's going on right now in my life. And guilt, shame, the devil in my ear, pissing in my ear like, yo, you the wrong person. You the wrong person to talk to these people. You just felt an engagement. You just felt a relationship. You just felt all of these things. Like, how dare you get on TV or on the internet and tell someone anything? And then I could use that as an example. I went to the house, and my sister Shanice and my mom went with me, and the guy showed us around, and he told me everything that I had to do, and the lease signing and all that went good, but I can't move in there until a certain time or date. What does that even have to do with anything? Let's look at it in retrospect. God doesn't want me to be in that space yet, because there's still some things that I need to do or work on before I get into that space. Because once I get into that space, then I'm gonna have to dwell, succeed, live, and most definitely conquer my old self. So the thing that I'm looking at as a punishment is actually a blessing, and God's sitting me down saying, you need to work on some stuff before I give you what I promised you. You gotta work on some stuff. And we ask the question all the time. I know I do. I'm sorry. I'm rebellious, whatever you want to call it. I'm saying, like, why not now? And then sometimes, in God's mercy and grace, He gives you something right now. Wow, there you go. Just so you can mess it up and destroy it, and just so you can have it for a moment, grasp, and it slips through your fingers, just to remind you next time He tells you to sit down and wait for something, to wait. But sometimes it has to be something that's really great to you, really a blessing to you, to slip through your hands for you to realize that next time God tell you to chill and wait, to wait. I'm tired of hiding it or faking it, whatever. One of the most beautiful women I've ever met in my life. Somebody who I laid next to, and I talked about my deepest secrets, my deepest dreams, everything was taken from me like that. Yeah, this one it start getting good now. This is when it start getting good. Taken away from me, just like this, look, like that. Over. And God saying, oh, you ain't listen to me? You thought I was joking with you? Oh, I'm taking everything. You think that I gave this to you and that you own it? That you got it? Oh, I'm taking all this from you now. And I look at and I think about, and I even have the audacity to be mad at God for a moment. Like I be mad at my father for whooping me. Not understanding that the next time that I go out and I do the same thing that I was doing, my father's whooping pops in my head. And I say, oh, I'm not going to do that again. Without the whooping, there is no recovery. Without my father whooping my behind, there is no sinking into me that this is something you should not do. So it's the punishment that gains me my relief. So, what does it come down to in closing? It comes down to whoever I was when I was in that situation must die now in order for the new me to come to fruition. That means all the cool stuff I liked about dude, all the stuff that I didn't like about him, all the stuff that I said, oh, I'm going to keep this, all the stuff that I try to hide my sock, all of that must die in order for the new me to live. Sometimes you even got to change your name. Sometimes you got to change the way you look. Sometimes you got to change the way you dress, where you hang out at, who you hang with, everything in between. Because until the old you dies, the new you can never exist. Decopbo 1.